Well, something that's close to my heart, the stock market has been crashing. It's been jumping up and down. Today, actually, there was a huge surge.
Really?
Yeah, it jumped up like 1,600 points, like some ridiculous.
Because Trump said that everybody's going to get back to work in a few weeks.
Yeah, and there's going to be some aid coming and so forth.
Right.
I actually did a video for Vlad Stocks. I haven't done one in 2 years about what can be done during a crash. And my point in this video is that for most of the people who follow me as stock investors, this is their first time going through a crash. It's actually my first time going through a crash because I started investing around 2010 after the last crash. So I've been, smooth sailing for like 10 years now.
I bought a house maybe a month before the 2008 crash with poker money.
Wow.
So I bought a house for $140,000. I think maybe 2-3 months later, it was worth $100,000. And then it took like 10 years of me owning that house for it to get back to the $140,000. And then it wasn't really because it had gotten back to the value, but I ended up selling it around that time. But I mean, pretty like astonishing thing for me to have happen in my life, especially as somebody who, as a kid, my dad nonstop would tell me like home ownership, like your house is always going to increase in value. Look at the market. It never really goes down in value. I bought a house immediately before the biggest crash of our lives. And also I actually bought a house 6 months ago in LA too. So, I mean, again.
Yeah, no, listen, all of us, I was taught by my parents to buy a house. As soon as I graduated from college and got my first job, the first thing I did was buy some property. And then I bought another piece of, I sold that, bought another piece of property, and then I got caught up in the 2000 crash, the dot-com crash. I had to sell that. I bought another property a few years later, and it just never really went anywhere. I eventually sold it a couple of years ago. Property is tough because it's very heavy. You can't sell a quarter of your house to cash out. Now, you could take a second mortgage out and do some other stuff, but like, one of the advantages of stocks is once the crash started to happen, I said, okay, let me get a little bit more cash on the sideline. So I was able to chip away at various companies that I owned and just put that cash aside while not selling everything. And the thing about the stock market is that throughout history, the market as a whole has recovered from crashes 100% of the time. This is like the stock market's been around for like 200 years or something. Every time there's been a crash, it's always recovered. Sometimes taken a couple months, sometimes taken a year and a half, but it's always recovered. And it's very tempting to just kind of sell out of everything right now at a huge loss. And it's really, I'm not a financial advisor, so it's really up to people and their own money because I don't benefit or lose by them doing whatever. But when you see people that have been doing it for a long time, a lot of them have just sat back and let it happen or bought more when the crashes happen, which is even scarier, but this is how a lot of the fortunes are made.
I mean, I feel a little lucky because I've actually never invested in the stock market, so I did not see any fluctuation in my bank account at that moment when the stocks went down like crazy. But I mean, yeah, it's definitely, I've been thinking about it. I'm thinking like, should I just buy shit now? But I'm also, there's so much uncertainty because I just feel like every public company is going to have to sort of rethink how their business operates going forward and how much of a safety net you need to have. And I mean, what's really crazy about this is it's going to force everybody to basically reconsider all of their assumptions politically about how society should be structured, how, wealth should be redistributed. The Andrew Yang a year ago like shook the political world to its core. Nobody could believe that he was talking about giving people $1,000 a month. I mean, every politician is talking about that now. It's like, it's a given that they're going to be giving money to people.
Yeah, I mean, the stimulus check. And they're talking about $1,200 a person, $2,400 for married couples, and $500 per child.
And we're not going to get shit because it stops after like $75,000 in income, right?
Oh, is that what they say?
I saw something about that online. I'm not sure, but I mean, that made me think.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think people who make more than $75,000 shouldn't get anything, me included.
It'd be a weird feeling to get like $1,500 from the government.
Yeah. Like, what'll $1,200 do to me for me
Yeah.
right now? I can't really think of anything.
Yeah.
I really can't think of a single change in my life that $1,200 will make. I'd rather have that money go to someone that's their their rent for 2 months.
Right, because that's a life-changing amount. Like that's the scary part too about all this is that I know people are starting to lose their jobs and stuff. What happens in a month or two? What about when they can't afford not only rent but food? When you're gonna have normal people going to the food banks, and I mean, there's just all kinds of like effects from this that we're not ready for and that we're not seeing.